Thank you so much. Toastmaster of the day, Ankit sir. Once there was a king and a lazy man named Haria, who were very good friends. One morning, the king asked Haria, why don't you do some work? Why don't you do some work and get some money? Haria said, no one gives me work. My enemies have informed everyone that I never do any work on in time. The kind king said, you can go into my treasury and get as much wealth as you can. To which the lazy Haria was very excited. He get back to his home, he rushed to his home and informed this to his wife. His wife was quite ecstatic. She said, go and get some gold coins and gems now. To which Haria said, I can't go now. I'm feeling quite hungry. Get me some lunch. After having lunch, he took an hour short nap. After waking up, he gets some bags and keep going to get the gold, to get the treasury. On the way, since he was feeling quite hot, he sat under a tree and get some rest. After getting 2 hours nap, he woke up and saw a young man was displaying some tricks, magic tricks. He stand there to watch the tricks. It took an hour. After that, he decided to move on to get the treasury. By the time he reached to the palace, he find it was already time for the sunset. The palace gates were already closed. So the golden opportunity to get the treasure has been lost because Haria has not learned the lesson of how to value time. So with this note, let me quickly brief you the various time limits. Firstly, we have the prepared speeches for which the time limits are 5 to 7 minutes. I'll show green card when the speaker reaches 5 minutes. 6 minutes, I'll show yellow card. On 7 minutes, I'll show the red card. Next segment is the table topic segment. In table topic segment, the time limit is 1 to 2 minutes. On 1 minute, I'll show green card. On 1.5 minutes, I'll show yellow card. And on 2 minutes, I'll show red card. Now, the last segment is the evaluation segment, for which the time limits are 2 to 3 minutes. On 2 minutes, I'll show green card. On 2.5 minutes, I'll show yellow card. And on 3 minutes, I'll show red card. Now, 30 seconds buffer time will be on both ends, except for table topic segment. Apart from this, there are auxiliary roles. The time limit here is 1 to 2 minutes. So on 1 minute, I'll show green card, 1.5 minutes, yellow card, and 2 minutes, I'll show the red card. So this is all. I'll show my report, present my report when called upon. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam Timer. So friends, one very important aspect that is the time. Time is mentioned on the agenda for everything, for introduction and as well as for the report. So rather, it's my tip for you, try to utilize the time that is available. If it's a 2 minutes, just try to use the entire 2 minutes. If it's 1 minute, try to complete that thing in a 1 minute. So just be within time as highlighted by our timer for the day. So with this, it's time to call our next role player, auxiliary role player, language evaluator. She has referred the scripts, so she knows what to do. So I do not have any tip for her. Let's see. And GE will tell what she need to improve upon. So please welcome our language evaluator, Toastmaster Shanti.
Hello everyone, a very good morning to all the Toastmasters from Central Delhi Toastmaster Club as well as TCS Maitree. So I am Shanti and I will be the language evaluator for today's meeting. Now I remember my very first meeting that I attended as a guest, and the role that I loved the most in that meeting was the role of the general evaluator. there was all this positive and supportive vibes. And I also remember that he had a suggestion for a distinguished Toastmaster as well. Now that shows the commitment to responsibility that he had. And the distinguished Toastmaster, in return, also took the suggestion with a very hearty smile. And that shows that he is always open for suggestions. This was something that really struck with me. And over the course of the meetings, I saw that a lot of Toastmasters take up the roles, with a kind of vigor. Even the most monotonous roles, they make it interesting with their own twists. So that has been a really nice journey for me. And I am looking forward to what Toastmaster of the Day has more in store for us today. Now, as the language evaluator, I would like to remind you all of the importance of language. We all know that language is, in fact, one of the key pillars for a civilized society. On that note, I will be noting down the good usages of some words, phrases, and idioms, and also not the very good usages. And I will be presenting the report. The word of the day is prudent. The meaning is having or showing careful judgment. Some usage examples are: she is always very prudent when it comes to spending her hard earned money. And the second usage is: it is better to be prudent when you take a huge risk in business. Let us use this word of the meeting today as much as we can. And whenever someone uses this word, then let's show our encouragement with a thumbs up. This I will be noting down the number of times the word of the day has been used, and I will include it in the report. Also note one last point, that the mode of communication is English. And if any of you are speaking in some other language during your speech or your talk, then make sure to translate it back to English. I will present my report at the end of the meeting. Back to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Shanti. Friends, our next role player, our counter Toastmaster Zenith, is all ready. She is looking serious, as I believe she has prepared well. So that's why she is memorizing what she is going to deliver. So just one small tip for her, that we commit so many mistakes in terms of our counter report. So if any role player commits a specific mistake, let's say a particular person is using I know what. So if the moment I become aware that I'm using this word, so I will start working on same. So with this, it's time to welcome our counter for the day, Toastmaster Zenith, over the virtual stage.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day. A very good morning to all the fellow Toastmasters and all the new Toastmasters here. Are you guys struggling with all the R's and ums in your speech? Sometimes we are like speaking, we're struck every time. But how do we come over it? My role as an R counter is like a teacher and pointing each and every one out of their words, that whether they're fumbling, whether they're using lots of R's or ums, and there are lots of filler words. So in that situation, me as an R counter, Toastmaster Zenith Roy, is here to give you some tips before the session begins with all the dosh. So one of the tips are, the best thing you can do to reduce your is to slow down. Remember that saying is essentially your brain trying to give you some time to think. Slowing down your rate of speaking will help your brain keep up and will help you feel less rushed and panicked when you're trying to put your words together. So that makes sense. This is your tip one, so that you go smooth throughout the session. There are multiple other tips that I want to give you so that you are aware of your R's and ums, or likely most or other filler words throughout your session. Those are: number one, speak slowly, but not too slowly. Talk too fast and your audience will have hard time understanding you. So make it your thing. Second, pause between your ideas. Great public speakers often pause for 2 or 3 seconds or even longer. Number three, avoid filler words like mostly, likely, yes or not, any word that can be said. Number four, carefully articulate and pronounce your word. While being rushed in a speech, we always mispronounce few words. So I am the teacher for today as your R counter, and I will be briefly explaining you my role. Today, as an R counter, my role is to keep track of all the filler words and sound used by the speakers and role players. The filler words can be like actually, basically, you know, etc., which are used out of context. Also, the fillers can be sounds like and I have already started my task. I will keep a track of all these words and present my report at the end of the session when the general evaluator asks for. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Zenith. And with this kind of introduction, I believe our time has come to update our scripts for the R counter thing. So new standards have been set. It's time to upgrade our script. We have 3 more roles, though we have not captured these roles here due to paucity of time, but still one quick tip for these roles as well. For the parliamentarian, thing, standard script, it's mentioned that enter and exit only during applause, but virtual meeting it is not applicable. So we need to mold our script as per the medium. For the listener thing, what listener does, listener usually captures, rather takes question only from the prepared speeches. Listener has a scope to take questions not only from speeches but also from table topic segment and also from the evaluation segment as well. So his coverage should be much larger. And the next comes the joke master. This is the real difficulty, to make people laugh, that too in English. And the third thing is that too in line with the parliamentarian said, the line that has been said by parliamentarian. So keeping all these things intact and just to make audience laugh, it is a difficult task. One small tip is that no need to merge 3-4 jokes, present one joke, use characters, use voice modulation. Just remember the Kapil Sharma thing, that Hathi Chiti, that means elephant and ant thing, and you just need to perform well. Sometimes joke need not be a very good one. Your performance improves the whole case. So with this, it's time to start our first segment, because our speakers are waiting very much. Our Toastmaster Mohit and our next speaker, Toastmaster Ritik, they are all present here. They are looking quite serious. I believe they have prepared well. Toastmaster Mohit is smiling, so that means he is very well prepared. And since he is going to present a speech in a Toastmaster, we have some objectives. And what Toastmaster Mohit is going to achieve today, only Toastmaster Deepak Menon sir knows. So please welcome Toastmaster Deepak Menon to share the speech objectives.
Mr. Toastmaster, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests, it is indeed an honor to be part of this historic meeting, which is a joint meeting of Central Delhi Toastmasters and TCS Maitree Kolkata Toastmasters, one of the oldest clubs of Kolkata. In fact, I've had the pleasure of visiting the TCS Maitree Kolkata Toastmasters quite a few times, but of course not in this past decade. Today, I'm going to be evaluating the speech that is being presented by Toastmaster Mohit Arora. Now, all of us should understand and realize that it is very prudent for us to make sure that we have mentors in our lives. And Toastmasters, in its projects, provides us an introduction to mentoring, which is exactly the project that Mohit is going to be attempting today. This is from level 2, project 3 of the presentation mastery path. And this is introduction to Toastmasters mentoring. The purpose of our speaker's speech today is for him to share with us some aspect of a previous experience as a prodigy. I wish Mohit all the very best, and I look forward to hearing him. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Deepak Menon sir. Friends, Mohit has prepared really hard, but he would love that if out of 15, all of us open our videos and watch him live performing on stage. So I request speaker number 2, General Evaluator Lakshmi, Evaluator number 2, Satyadeep, Samir Thaplia, Tarun Nanda, and Sanchit Bhushan. I can quote specific name because we have just 15 members present here. So request you all to please switch on your videos. You have lovely faces. We want to see you. So it's time to welcome Toastmaster Mohit Arora on stage. Please welcome Toastmaster Mohit Arora. Comparison is a thief of joy. Comparison is a thief of joy. Toastmaster Mohit Arora, stage is all yours.
Thank you, Toastmaster. Don't you think in the age of social media, comparison technically impossible? This is something we have seen since our childhood time, when our parent used to compare our marks with others and our achievements. And we have heard some hard punches like, I'm sure most of us have heard, like, that person's son or daughter has got 90%. What are you doing? In my case, this was a bit different because I was fortunate, and unfortunately, I was having a twin sister who was in same section, because and she was a topper and I was a mediocre. So I used to hear the same thing from the parents as well as my teachers. And somewhere in all our life, we have seen these situations. When we don't feel good when we start comparing our achievements with others. And that happens, isn't it? A very good morning, fellow Toastmaster and dear guest. Let's understand what happened when we start comparing our achievements with others. Several studies have shown people, especially young adults, who spend most of their time on social media like Facebook, Instagram, and other platforms, have shown substantial increase rate of depression as compared to others who spend least time. Those people on social media show their only the gloomy picture, and when other persons start compare that just take away their joys. Let's understand from live examples. As a person, I like doing running a lot. I have participated in a lot of marathons and triathlons. Last year, when this lockdown thing happened, I started focusing on my timing, short distance timings. Although I have done a lot of marathons, like I mentioned, in August 2020, when my group was preparing for a short distance, 5 kilometers, and I achieved my personal best timing in that. I break the barrier of 25 minutes. I achieved within 24 minutes, few seconds. And I was so elated because that was the personal best timing for me at that moment. But when suddenly my fellow runners starting sharing their stat over WhatsApp, my level of happiness was not the same. Although I got my best that moment, still that happened because I compared my achievement with others without knowing their backgrounds. Okay, now I'll come to the next example. In Mahabharata, I'm sure no one can miss two warriors' name, Karan and Arjun. There is a large section of people who believes, including me, Karan was far superior than Arjun. He was so invincible that even for Lord Krishna to defeat him. But his continuous quest to outdo Arjun made him a less of a warrior. That's what happened when we start comparing. Comparison makes us emotionally depleted. It takes us the joy and sometimes even question our life decision and sometimes even our own existence. I know, comparison is inevitable. We all know, but it is easier said than done. What can be done to strip away the sheer joy of our achievements? First, have a mentor in your life. That's the most important thing. Like just before that, I gave the example of Lord Krishna, two warriors, Karan and Arjun. In that war, Arjun was a protege of Lord Krishna. He was guided at every moment. And on the other end, Karan was not having any mentor. And ultimately, he lost the battle. And that shows the importance. Now, the same thing I would like to explain through my own journey of Toastmaster. This is, I have completed 6 months in Toastmaster. And I remember when I had to give my first icebreaker speech, when I connected with my mentor, she simply said, Mohit, it's up to you. Whenever you are comfortable, you are ready. Only then you should go for it. And also, we all joined Toastmasters to learn and improve our public speaking skills. In my last 6, 7 months, I have seen so many people who have taken roles as per on their pace, because we all have a different goals. Someone wants to be a proper public speaker, someone wants to just improve their skills. The platform that Toastmaster give for each one of us is a safe space to overcome or our insecurities and come forth whatever we want to express. That is due to collaborative mentorship of the club, where nobody is being judged, compared, or made to feel inferior. This is the true way of guidance and letting people discover their way of excellence. Second, like I mentioned, have a mentor in your life. Mentor is one of the aspects that can only show us the path, direction, but how to reach that goal, that hard work we have to do. So self-care, start investing time in yourself, and self-care and self-love is one of the most beautiful way to uplift your self-esteem and come out of the rut of self-comparison. The only person you should compare is you. In the end, I would like to conclude with one beautiful say that all fingers are not seen, but when they bend together, all becomes equal. And that's how it happens. We all come from a different background. We all have a different identity. Don't compare yourself with others. Be the best version of yourself. It's simply, there's a beautiful say in the end, run your own race at your own pace. Thank you. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Mohit Arora, for such a beautiful speech. Friends, what is the beauty of Toastmaster? I believe the beauty of Toastmaster is on this platform only, we can present our thoughts in our way. Our thoughts means our thoughts, the thing in which we believe. Though the basic idea was the Toastmaster Mohit's speech was that we are unique in our way, but the manner in which it was presented, I have seen this first time. So thanks to the Toastmaster fraternity, thanks to the Toastmaster Club for providing this kind of unique platform. So friends, did you like Toastmaster Mohit's speech? Please let him know, send him message by way of group chat, by way of personal chat, in any manner. He will feel delighted. So it's time to welcome our next speaker, Toastmaster Ritik Das. Ritik is all ready. And what Toastmaster Ritik is going to achieve today, for this we have our evaluator, that is Toastmaster Satyadeep Basu. I welcome Toastmaster Satyadeep to please share the speech objectives.
Thank you. Thank you, Toastmaster of the Day, Ankit. The speaker in question is going to deliver an elective project from level 3 of the presentation mastery pathway. The purpose statement. The project is entitled Inspire Your Audience. And the purpose statement for this particular project is for the member to practice writing and delivering a speech that inspires the audience. Please note, the time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes. All the best to the speaker, and over to the Toastmaster of the day.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Satyadeep. And I believe that Toastmaster Ritik Das is going to inspire us all today. And what's the topic? Rather, title is Toastmaster Ritik Das, Beyond the Dark Side of Moon. Toastmaster Ritik Das, Beyond the Dark Side of Moon. Please welcome him.
To incorporate scientific thinking, we are introducing the 7th edition of National Children's Science Congress in our institution again. Boys and girls, you are requested to participate to make this institution, our school, the best in the whole district. Are you guys ready? Yes, sir. Are you guys ready? Yes, sir. With all these words by which our principal sir inspired us, I got goosebumps on my hands. I thought that this was the time I got to really do justice to my comparative skills to do something great. I was a competitive person right since my childhood. I went and enrolled in the competition. I was chosen the team leader of my team with 5 other members. So were a lot of other teams there. And I was going to represent my team in the district championship of National Children's Science Congress. We prepared projects, but unfortunately, it was not up to the mark. Can you just imagine this way of being unprepared when you go to the hall itself and still you are sticking photos on your project file? That level of being unprepared. But I had a plan in my mind. I know that giving a speech, a presentation on the project has also a certain amount of marks. So if I can ace that thing, I can really make it to the state levels. But when I went to give a speech, my legs were trembling like this. I can't tell you what was happening with me. But in the morning, my father said, I belong from a political family in Bengal. My father said, you're my son, and you got to do justice to that, especially to my profession. I don't care whatever you do, at least do justice to my oratory skills and take those genes from me. And my father is a superb, consummate public speaker. He can move mountains through his speech. And with all that confidence, I went on the podium and I gave a speech. As the first speech of my life, the first organized official speech of my life. And everyone in the audience was spellbound. I'm not exaggerating of myself, but and all of them gave me a standing ovation. With that particular project paperwork, when even unprepared to that level, as I mentioned, we were selected for the state levels because of the public speech I gave. This was noticed by some of the school officials who informed the principal sir about my communication skills. I was chosen in the students' council, went on to become the vice captain of the school in class 11 and the captain of the school in class 12. I was having the time of my life. I was giving speeches, I was holding the podium, I was using the mic all the time to inspire people, to do different developments in the school, and I was having the time of my life. And I was the attention that you get when you are captain or the leader. But suddenly something came into our school official came to me and told, Ritvik, you are selected for the Frank Anthony debate competition. It's a inter-school debate competition of all the ICSE schools. So I was to represent my school there. It was on 14th of July 2019. On 13th July, the previous day, our principal sir calls us and gives us a topic, me and another of my compatriot who was to present the school in the debate competition. And we gave a set of arguments on a topic that sir gave us. And in his feedback, sir told me, Ritik, unfortunately, you have an accent problem. Boom! My confidence level got shattered like anything. It was on the floor. I went to, and it was so bad, I couldn't sleep that night. On the day of the competition itself, I was not able to speak to. I was so disheartened. But then I took up the challenge. I got to prove this person that no, his statements were wrong. And I went on in my traditional way of improving my communication skills, that is going around the bed at the night time and speaking to myself in English. That was a way of improving my communication skills. That's something I used. And on 23rd January 2020, my farewell day, I gave a speech and I ended my speech with the lines, "Acha chalta hu, duaon mein yaad rakhna," which translates to, "Let me go, remember me in your prayers." Thunderous round of applause from the audience. Principal sir came on the podium and told me, "Ritvik, if you can just earn by giving speeches, like Shiv Khera. And I hope when you come to our school, you will be taking it for free." Then I told sir in a joking manner, "But sir, you only taught me to be very professional in your professional life. It was just a joke whatsoever." And then I understood that, yeah, communication was my cup of tea. I got to improve it. And then I came on Google searching for different clubs. What was the best club to improve my own communication skills? I found Toastmasters. I found this great club. And one particular day changed my life forever. That was a day when I was serving as a sergeant at arms. I was given this opportunity to introduce the mission and obviously start the meeting, which is a very important part of the meeting. But I forgot that day. I didn't prepare anything. And suddenly the president of our club tells us, I hope Ritik, you are ready. It is already 6:59, 7:14 p.m. 7:15, a meeting will be starting. And she tells me this. I haven't prepared anything. And then I go on the podium and give a speech on the mission and objectives. And I got a good feedback from the general evaluator that day. I understood. I have able to get this into my blood, as my father said. Completely impromptu, no preparation, nothing, and giving a speech. Thanks to Toastmasters for this. And why am I saying this? Because I'm pretty sure, look at yourself, look at your abilities. I'm pretty sure we all have gone through such changes. And for your information, this speech that I've just gave is just based on certain points and no preparation. Thank you very much. Over to the.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Ritik, for such a beautiful speech. Now here comes the main task, just to choose who was the best out of Toastmaster Mohit and Toastmaster Ritik. In the meantime, you can also send your feedback to Toastmaster Ritik, personal chat, group chat, whatsoever mode you are comfortable. And I request our tech master, please launch the poll so that we can choose best out of these two. Poll is right here on the screen. I am choosing this one. You may choose that one. Are we done with the polls? Tech master, please confirm.
Yeah, we are done with the polls.
Okay, thank you
Still
so much.
changing. Just giving 5 more seconds.
Okay.
2, 1. That's it. Closing the polls now.
Wow. 5 seconds start from 2, 1. Thank you so much.
I just the test in my mind.
Okay. Thank you so much, Tech Master, for helping us out in conducting this meeting and launching this poll. It is not an easy exercise, friend, though our Tech Master do not appear, because in case of online meeting, his role is nowhere mentioned, but his role is the most important thing, so that because of this, we are able to see each other. We are able to perform live. So it's time to start our next segment, that is table topic segment, and the role players, Toastmasters who are not doing any role can come in this segment and present their thoughts. So 1 or 2 small tips for the table topic master. That's not my side, it's mentioned in the script or some from my experience as well, that the basic job for table topic master is to create an environment in which everyone can raise hand. So table topic master should say that it's very, very easy thing. No matter how bad you perform, it is an easy thing. We keep on speaking throughout the day, 1 minute, not a big deal. So, and the second thing is that what we say, that green card on 1 minute, then 1:30, then 2. audience, sometimes Toastmaster, myself, or guests have an idea. Whenever card is out, I need to stop. Green means you do not need to stop. You can go on. Thoughts are coming, and so on. When a red is out, then it's time to wind up your thoughts. And I'm sure our table topic master is expert in this thing. And so please call table topic master Toastmaster Anisha on stage to start the segment. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Mr. Toastmaster of the Day. A quick question. Am I audible? Okay, great. So as the Toastmaster of the Day has clearly told all of you, the table topic session is the fun session, the impromptu session, and all of the members who have not taken up roles today are encouraged to participate. And I would like to see some nominations coming up on the chat. Otherwise, I can nominate you and you will have to take up a topic. Okay, so also just a quick note, please remember that the word of the day is prudent, and I will encourage you to please use that word in your impromptu speeches. Now, let's see the nominations coming up. Do we have any guests today? This is the only section where the guests can participate. So if you have any guests, now is the time to join. I see Toastmaster Ritvik has raised his hand. So Toastmaster Ritvik, would you like to be the first one? Okay, so I'm going to share my screen for this.
Anisha, before you start, there's a continuous background noise coming from whose I do not know.
It might be mine. There's some construction work going on.
Oh, okay.
Just give me a second. I'll close the door. Just a minute. Is that better? Okay.
Yes, it is.
All right. So Toastmaster Ritvik. Okay. Since I was asked to do a table topic session with a twist, I have added some of my favorite song lyrics as part of the topics in this table topic session. They're really nice. You don't need to get intimidated, but I hope you enjoy the topics and check out the songs as well. So Toastmaster Ritvik, here is your topic. Stop existing, start living. Toastmaster Ritvik, stop existing, start living.
Oh, I see. Arey, no, dude, I have to also earn money today. No, just 20,000 in a month. Aren't the stocks working well? Isn't the Nifty's points really going up well? What am I supposed to do? Let me take some loans. Father, let's go to the cinema. Just shut up. I'm doing some work, right? Just go away from here. What should I do? Okay. Hello, tax consultant. Yes. Hello. Your life will only go in this hello. But let me just put a space here. Just ask yourself. Keep your hands on your heart. What will you do with that money? Your Flurry's breakfast will just be replaced by a breakfast at Putiram's. But what matters is that flavor. Is something that you feel. Is something that you feel with the family. Your worth to the people. Is it really a prudent decision to always run after money and sacrifice your whole life for that? At the end of the day, when you are on your deathbed, tell me, will you count the notes or the number of memories in your life? Memories of the days when you lived, not just existed. For some who come into even this fraternity, I've seen them just sitting down, not doing anything to improve themselves. You are just existing. Take that step forward, make that first step, and do something great. Start living this moment. Start living your life with the children. It's your professional that I'm talking about right now. It's your personal that I was talking just some time back when a father was approaching her, when a son was approaching a father, and also giving you reference and analogy of a breakfast point. With all that, it's all important to live your life. You don't live your life in Instagram stories. You live your life on the real world. Therefore, the next time you go to a bar to have a wine and to show it on an Instagram story, maybe go to a place with your friends, sit under a tree when no one is watching, and then have the whiskey. It will taste a lot better. Stop existing, start living. Over to the TTM.
That was an amazing take on the topic, Toastmaster Ritvik, and I loved how passionate you were about this topic. I'm really glad you did that. Someone's definitely living and not just existing. Okay, I can see that our timer, Achal, Toastmaster Achal, has raised her hand. So, Toastmaster Achal, are you ready for your topic?
Yes, but an easy one.
Okay, I think you will like this one. Small things make perfection, but perfection isn't a small thing. Toastmaster Achal, small things make perfection, but perfection isn't a small thing.
What do you mean by the word perfection? Is it getting dressed? Is it the way of talking? Is it looking smart? Is it communicating better? What do you mean by the word perfection? Perfection can be small things also. Simplicity can be perfection. One can be simple, yet perfect. And one who looks quite glossy may not be perfect. Everyone has their own meaning for perfection. For me, I would say perfection is my simplicity. And the way I look at people. Some people take the instance of looking at the person's face, how they are dressed, how they are getting, how they talk, how they walk. That is something they seems perfect. But for me, education, the better, the respect you give to others is someone who is perfect. So everyone has their own perspective for perfection, and no one is wrong in that. So perfection is, sorry, can you please share the card? So small things make perfection, but perfection isn't a small thing. Thank you.
Thank you for your speech, Toastmaster Achal. Yes, we all have our little targets for perfection. That is true. And that is what makes it unique as well. Who would like to go next? I don't see any nominations on the chat box. I must remind you that in that case, I have the liberty to nominate people if I want to. Any nominations? Anyone? They're really not that difficult. I think you got a glimpse of what topics I have. That was a tech glitch. Okay, then I will nominate someone. Let's see who haven't taken any roles. I see Samir Thaplial on the meeting. I'm not sure if you're a Toastmaster or the guest.
No,
Mr.
I'm the
Samir?
Toastmaster. Sorry, I can't open my video. So apologies
Okay.
for that.
Okay, no problem. But would you like to take up a table topic?
Yeah, sure. Thank you.
Okay, okay. Then here is yours. Thunder only happens when it's raining. Toastmaster Samir,
Yeah, thunder
only happens when it's raining.
only happens when it's raining. Thunder only happens when it's raining. So something happens in your life. Anything happens in anybody's life when somebody goes for it, and do their 100% to achieve that thing. And in my view, if you want to achieve in your life something, so you have to go behind that thing with wholeheartedly, and so that's all. Means right now nothing is coming in my mind, so apologies for that. Yeah, slowly I will learn. Means that's why I'm here to learn. Yeah.
Yes, we all are. We all are. And I'm so glad that you did agree to take up a table topic. Continue to do that. Table topics is fun and it will really improve your impromptu thinking. Okay, who would like to go next? I haven't seen any nominations yet. Anyone? You can raise your hands on Zoom. I'll be able to take nominations from there. Okay, in that case, I can see someone else on the meeting who hasn't taken up a role today. Toastmaster Pragati Jain. Ma'am, are you a Toastmaster or a guest?
I'm a Toastmaster.
Okay. So would you like to take up a topic?
Okay, can go ahead.
All right, Toastmaster Pragati.
Just a minute.
Yeah, sure.
Yeah. Hello. You're not audible, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So here is your topic. There's still time to change the road you're on. Toastmaster Pragati, there's still time to change the road you're on.
Absolutely bang on. There's still time. There is no age limit to this. Being a child, being an adult, whatever age you are in, 40, 50, 60, 70, you can always change yourself. There's a scope for improvement all the time. And there's a constant need to learn things and unlearn also, for that matter. And the roles should be, can you share the topic once again on the screen? Yeah. Yes, so whatever you are learning or unlearning for that matter, there should be a change in you, and there's a time for, there's no time limit for anything for that matter. You can achieve any role, any given skills, any given desires, your accomplishment, your plans at whatever time you are in, and you can, plan, or you may not be able to plan. You can actually go ahead at any length in time. So that's what I personally think, and I prescribe this to everyone. There's no age limit to learn things, to learn skills, and things can be done at any point in life. You can actually make yourself quite visible to everyone. If you choose whatever, must be what you are and be what you want to do, the passion you have. That's what I think. Thank you so much.
Thank you for your speech, Toastmaster Pragati. I completely agree with you. If you have that passion, no matter what your age is or what stage of life you're at, there's still time to change it, and you should chase your dreams head on. Yes, finally, I see a nomination from distinguished Toastmaster Satyadeep. So, all right. And yes, Madam General Evaluator Lakshmi, I agree. Stairway to Heaven is a lovely song. Okay, Toastmaster Satyadeep, here is your topic. Okay, everything is funny as long as it happens to somebody else. Distinguished Toastmaster Satyadeep, everything is funny as long as it happens to somebody else.
Good morning, fellow Toastmasters. It is very easy for us to laugh at someone's predicament, but seldom we realize that what happens to others can happen for you as well. I was very young in class 4, watching a football match in our local playground, and suddenly a player was playing there. He slipped. Standing on the ground, the ball came to him. Instead of able to trap it well, he slipped. He fell. And each one in the ground were laughing. How can a person standing in just a football court can slip and fall down? He twisted his ankle and could not play the match. I also laughed from outside. Ladies and gentlemen, 2 years, only 2 years later, I was absolutely in the same situation. This time playing football, I was also trying to trap. And I twisted both my ankle as well as my knee. I was hospitalized for 3 days. I remember how we all laughed at the guy, how we made a mockery of him. But we do not know when the thunder is going to strike. It is important for us to understand a situation that the person is going through instead of laughing at his or her predicament. Because you never know what goes around comes around. So, ladies and gentlemen, never laugh at others. Instead, extend your helping hand. Probably you'll get some blessing, which you're going to cherish, and the person is going to remember you forever. Thank you. Over to the Toastmaster, Tabletop Master of the Day.
Thank you so much for your take on this speech. And yes, I think we could all relate to that little story. As a kid, we might have laughed at someone falling down or scraping their knee, but then when it has happened to us, that is when we learned that lesson, that it might not be as funny when it happens to you. Thank you for reminding us about that, those simple childhood memories. Toastmaster Deepak Menon, would you like to take up a topic?
Sure.
Yes. Okay. So I have another song lyric for you. You have been which you have commended. Here is your topic. It's better to burn out than to fade away. It's better to burn out than to fade away.
Deepak Menon, what are you trying to do with yourself? You are going to be totally burnt out if you continue the way you are. Come on, you need to have a life. That was what I was being told by my mentor way back in 2010. Yes, 2010. That was more than a decade ago. Madam Table Topics Master, fellow Toastmasters, in 2009-2010, I was District Governor of District 82 Toastmasters. And this Toastmasters district at that time comprised of all the clubs in India and Sri Lanka. Satyadeep's nodding his head, and so he remembers that time. And really, what happened was that I was bouncing from city to city to city all those months. As a result, I was spending almost 10 hours, 12 hours on Toastmasters every single day of that year. What happened? My family was getting neglected. My work was getting neglected. My firm told me, look, you better decide you want to choose Toastmasters or you want to choose JP Kapoor and Oberoi. My wife said, you want to choose Toastmasters, you want to choose me. And my mentor said, you need to have a life. You're going to get burnt out. Friends, we need to have a balance in our lives. We need to ensure that we have a balance with the things that we love. Sometimes the passion takes us just too far. We don't realize that we're getting burnt out. And we need to be very careful how we provide that balance. I regained the balance thanks to the advice, the mentoring that I received, and I was able to get back from that brink that I had reached. What about you? How are you going to come back from the brink? Madam Topics Master.
Thank you so much for your speech. I loved your take on it. And I do think that, yes, filling up our day with all of the activities that we are passionate about is way better than letting it go. But we have to maintain a balance. So thank you for your take on that. Now, I have a question for our timer for today. Do we have time for some more table topics, or should we close the session? Madam Timer?
Yeah, we can continue with the evaluation segment. We can close it now. We already have table topic.
Okay. All right. Then thank you for your participation, everyone. I really enjoyed sharing these table topics with you with some of my favorite songs, and I loved your take on that. Thank you, and back to you, Toastmaster of the Day.
Thank you so much, Table Topic Master Anisha, for conducting the session beautifully, where so many members have participated. So it's time to find out who was the best. Tech Master, are you all ready to launch the poll?
The polls are on the screen now.
Great, thank you. I have chosen. Did you? Tech Master, please confirm once we are done with the polls.
Okay, we're giving the 10 seconds to complete.
Okay.
And 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 1 remaining. 4. One participant is still remaining, requesting to vote. 5 more seconds. Okay, so we are closing the polls now.
Thank you so much, Tech Master, for conducting the polls. Friends, what is the difference between physical meeting and online meeting? Here, we will have to vote. The polls is on the screen, not just like a normal sheet where we tick and the SAA has to count. Here, the things are different. Now, moving on to our third segment, that is general evaluation segment. And what general evaluator script says? It says that GE will evaluate each and every role player. But what we see in our actual GE roles, that GE is most concerned with the presidential address, the TMOD thing, table topic master thing, and he is not very much concerned with the other roles. My piece of advice is that one recommendation for everyone, irrespective of their time that they have devoted. Just every role player deserves one commendation and one recommendation. One more piece of advice is that if evaluator skips anything which is very important, there's some highlight of the speech just to encourage a speaker, he could incorporate this thing in his address as well. So I'm sure our general evaluator will take care of all these points, and she has many more things in the store. Please welcome our general evaluator, seasoned Toastmaster Lakshmi, over the virtual stage.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, and it's a pleasure seeing you all. Because of starting with the recommendation, I should say I should have been introduced at the initial part of the meeting itself, because I'm the one who is supposed to introduce my team, because my general evaluation has two teams. One is speech evaluators and the other one is tag role players. So I should have been introduced at the beginning so that I get to know about, I'm the one who has, I should say, it's my responsibility to introduce my tag role players and as well as the evaluators. Perfect. It's gone and gone. Now let's get into the evaluation section, and I would request the speakers to take the evaluation, the feedback given by your respective speech evaluators on a positive way, because they are not going to give you any negative feedback. They are going to give you the areas of improvements. Well, with that, no, we are going to get directly into the first speech evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon, sir, to come on stage, evaluate your first speaker, Toastmaster Mohit. Deepak, sir, the stage is all yours.
Run your own race at your own pace, Madam General Evaluator, fellow Toastmasters, and Mohit in particular. Mohit demonstrated how easy it is to run our own race at our own pace. And that was the key message that I derived from Mohit's speech. And the way he presented his speech clearly gave me the problem and then provided me the solution. What a wonderful way of framing the topic and then providing us with take home as well. Good job done by Toastmaster Mohit in this speech, where he needed to talk to us about his experience as a prodigy, which he did. He did that commendably well as he presented to us what he has learned in Toastmasters, and which is so relevant for each one of us. What I really liked was the clear structure of the speech, a great opening where he engaged me by talking about his twin sister. And I was wondering what is going to be the further story about this, but he didn't give me much more after that, but he went straight to his racing story, his marathon story. But I love the way he was able to intertwine information about comparisons and how we need to avoid comparisons, and then give us the solutions as to how we could do that by finding a mentor and then ensuring that we behave in a self-caring manner. So that was done particularly well. I love the confidence that Mohit displayed. He was poised, he had this beautiful smile on his face all the time, and I thought that was how he was able to draw me to himself. What could Mohit have done to make the speech even better? I noticed that Mohit had some challenge with transitions. When he was moving from point to point, he said, okay, so now I'm going to tell you about the next example. And then when he was concluding, he said, in conclusion, or in the end, I conclude that now these transitions can be improved, because these were not smooth transitions. The way you need to move from, let's say, example to example is by first finishing your story of, let's say, about the marathon, and then moving on and saying, in the Mahabharata, rather than saying, okay, next example will be, just move straight to, in the Mahabharata, we had Arjun and Bharat, Arjun and Karan, and then talk about the story that you have. That would be much more smoother. The second thing that can be done better is eye contact. Now, I noticed that Mohit was looking at the screen most of the time. If you look at the camera, pay attention at the camera on your screen and look at that, then you're looking at me, you're looking at everybody in the audience. It's a little difficult, but you can manage it. But the best part of the speech was his very pleasant, articulate, enunciated voice. Very well done. I enjoyed the speech thoroughly, and I now am going back looking for all my mentors to help me so that I don't make any comparison with myself. Back to you, Madam General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon, for such a lovely evaluation and the feedback. Definitely, I don't have any, of course, recommendations for you, but as far as the speaker is concerned, I just got impressed with the way, because when you compare something, you always set yourself on aggression mode. but today you were totally different. Your journey was absolutely fine just on the Jaipur highways. It was on a very great pace. Good job. Only thing is, as suggested by your evaluator, please improve on those points. Apart from that, if you can just try to stand up and give your speech, you can use the stage. And when it was going on emotions, you can use your hand gestures. That's all, and all the very best. Let's move on to the second speaker today, the evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster, Satyadeep. Today I'm having a lot of giants, like leaders and champions. It's great to see you all. To distinguished Toastmaster, Satyadeep is here to see the beyond the dark side, the speech given by Toastmaster Ritik. Distinguished Toastmaster Satyadeep, the stage is all yours.
Thank you. Madam General Evaluator, Toastmasters and guests, and Ritik in particular. It was a very intriguing topic, Ritik, Beyond the Dark Side of Moon. I love the title. It was superb, a great energetic start, the way you explained how your principle inspired all of you. And I loved the confidence which you had throughout the speech. Your gestures were also impeccable. When we are talking about you're completely unprepared. You became the captain and the vice captain of the school later on. And of course, you went on to create a story where the build-up was very nice. It moved phase-wise from the inspirational story by your principal, how you gained confidence later on, and then onto Frank Anthony school debate, where you participated and did so well. I also particularly liked the voice modulation in places where you talked about with your father, and obviously when you said disheartened when the principal said there's a problem with your accent. Now let me tell you, Ritik, some of the sides where the moon can shine much brighter. Firstly, the camera position. When you started delivering your speech, initial part of your head was cut off when you were moving backwards one step. Secondly, when you tried to come in front of the camera, again, to emphasize something, your head also got cut off. Since you were delivering the speech in a standing position, there were places where you could have done purposeful stage movement, where there was a characterization of your father. You could have moved and talked, described the position of your father. You also had an opportunity of going around the bed, at least describing going around the bed. And obviously, third thing was the occasional fumbles that I could see in your speeches. Probably you forgot a bit, and some ahs and ums were there in between the speeches. Lastly, in the conclusion, I could not find that inspiring message, Ritik. That sense of conviction in an inspiring speech where you want to inspire the audience was slightly missing. The first message could have been it's better to prepare and prevent than to repair and repent, where you learned the lesson heard in the hard way. And of course, you could have said that if you have the will, you will overcome all the challenges. So this kind of a reinforcement in the conclusion could have been given, Ritik. That could have enhanced this speech. Overall, with a confident speech, with a great story build-up, confidence and gestures, we could have taken care of the camera position, stage movement, and an apt conclusion. The speech would have been enhanced. Over to the general evaluator.
Thank you so much, distinguished Toastmaster Satyadeep, for a brief and concrete evaluation, definitely. And I don't definitely have any recommendations for you either. And where is the speaker? Can you just switch on your camera for a moment? Speaker 2, Ritik. Thank you. Apart from whatever your evaluator said, I just would like to add two more points. One is your camera angle, because you just kept your camera down, so we're just looking at it, so we hardly could see your face expressions, number one. Number two, I could see you are fumbling in between for words. Instead, just keep some ready-made phrases ready. So if you're getting something, you can, these are, as fillers. So you can just put them. So we could also feel, yes, that lack of preparation will not be shown in that. And as your evaluator said, you could have used your stage way better. Since you were standing and delivering, you could have used your stage better. Thank you so much. And now I would request the tech masters to raise the poll for the best evaluator. Then we'll get on to my evaluation.
The polls are on the screen. 10 seconds for the ballots.
Basically, it's very difficult to vote. Can't we vote both? Of course. Is there any option?
Okay, so 2 more remaining. Requesting everyone to please vote. 5 more seconds will be given. Vote quickly. 5 seconds more. Okay, so I'll closing the polls. Over to you, ma'am. GE.
Thank you so much. Now let's come to my evaluation. Of course, as a general evaluator, you're all aware that I'm going to talk about what's good and what should have been avoided. Never say any negative thing. It should not be there. Everything is perfect. Only thing is we need to improve that. That's it. As a general evaluator, I could say the meeting started bang on time. Thank you. The sergeant at arms not only started the meeting with high energy, but also made sure we all should know the rules of a Toastmaster meeting. It's not only the responsibility of sergeant at arms to know about the mission, but she made sure she was asking us questions. That's great. I'm saying it for the first time. Kudos. And as I mentioned, at the GE should have been introduced at the earlier stage, because everyone is from different parts of the clubs. I'm not aware of who's there and all. So it should have been easy for me to get to know about my team, that is TAG and as well as speech evaluators. That's absolutely fine. And the topic today was chosen extremely intelligent. Am I justifying my Toastmasters role? These questions we all should be asking ourselves. Sit and write about that, and you are getting a prepared speech topic for that. You will be getting so many things. That's a perfect topic. And every time and again, he had been introducing us or letting us know the importance of being a Toastmaster, how we all are getting benefited. And the president or somebody, he asked the guests the questions first, and as well as the Toastmasters. And it was a perfect flow of journey right from the very first moment. Before I move further, I can ask the timer to present the report, please. If you can just come on the stage.
Yeah. Were we prudent enough when it comes to best utilization of time? Sorry, I'm not getting any answers. Were we prudent enough?
That's all we look up to you.
Okay, no one was disqualified. Okay, now let me tell you about the time speakers when it comes to prepared speeches. Mohit, the first speaker, Mohit, he fell into the yellow zone, and Ritvik was in the red zone, but no one was disqualified. Now coming to the table topic session. Ritvik, Satyadeep sir, Deepak sir, they are in the red zone. Achal and Pragati are in the yellow zone, and Sabir is in the green zone. I'll quickly brief you what is the green zone, yellow zone, and red zone a bit later. Now, evaluation. Deepak sir and Satyadeep sir both are in the red zone. So, a quick suggestion for those, including me, who are falling in the green or yellow zone, to please make best utilization of time. I know it's difficult, but it will eventually come. A time will eventually come. Now, what is green, yellow, and red zone? As our TMOD already said, we should not tell about the timings, exact timings. We should divide our speeches into zones. So green zone is from when you are qualified till the time when you fell into, suppose for speaker, after 5 to 6 minutes is green zone, 6 to 7 minutes is yellow zone, and after 7 we come into red zone, yet qualified. So similarly, the same thing will apply. Now I'll rest my case. Okay, over to general evaluator.
Thank you so much, Timer. I have a small recommendation for you. In case, please do not show the time. You know, I know you're using that Calgro, but hide the time in that. So the speaker should not know, that whoever is there, they should not know. It should be a suspense for them till the time you announce they are qualified. Okay, what you please, because I could see today the second speaker was just on time, 7 minutes 29 seconds. So you should not reveal the secret. Okay, fine. And he was hurrying up. You know, when he saw that particular thing, he was hurrying up. So that's an advantage of the prepared speeches. Now let's call the language evaluator. Please come on stage and then give your report, please.
Thank you, General Evaluator. I'm happy to say that today's meeting, we have not seen many not so good usages. I must say that we have all been very prudent while speaking. Having said that, there are some very good usages, definitely. I'm gonna say a few of them. Fumbling by Toastmaster Zenith, articulate and mediocre by Toastmaster Mohit, and one phrase which he has used is run your own race at your own pace. And by Ritvik, Toastmaster Ritvik, we have some good words like oratory, consummate, compatriot, confidence level was shattered. And by Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Satyadeep, seldom, mockery, and what goes around comes around. And Toastmaster, distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Menon has used words like brink, bouncing from city to city. And Toastmaster General Evaluator, Toastmaster Lakshmi, has used brief and concrete. The word of the day, prudent, was used thrice by Toastmaster Deepak Menon, Ritvik Dash, and Anchal Jain. This is my report. Back to the General Evaluator.
Thank you so much, language evaluator. So that reminds me that we all should use, though we are 14 participants, only 3 of them are used, please. That's still on the gray zone, I mean, as per the timer. Now, I would request the accountant to come on stage and present your report, please. Toastmaster Zenith. The stage is yours.
Thank you, Madam General Evaluator, for calling me on the podium. And your strict counter teacher is here with a long report of lots of R's and And I'm not that much strict that I will be showing your mark sheet to everyone that everyone knows. Oh, these number of R's. Oh, these number of arms. No. So I begin with my report. Subjected arms, TM Pooja had couple of R's. TM Ankit had couple of R's in arms. DTM Deepak was clear. TM Mohit was having one like, one fumble, and couple of R's. DTM Satyadev was clear. TM Ritik had one fumble, couple of R's. TM Anisha had a little bit of fumble. TM Achal had couple of R's, one arm. TM Pragati had couple of R's, one arm, one like. TM Samir had couple of R's, arm, like, and mostly. TM Simran does a couple of R's and lots of fumbles. TM Lakshmi had one and one arm. TM Shanti had couple of R's and arms. But I hope my tips at the beginning of the sessions were quite helpful for everyone. Remember, whenever you're trying to add some fillers, fillers may always not become a or maybe something interesting, maybe a line or a phrase or song, anything. So that was my report. Back to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you so much. And now I would request the tech master to raise the poll for the best auxiliary role players.
The polls are on the screen. 15 seconds will be given to mark the ballots.
No, he's just on the target. Well, let the polls be on. We will continue our. You have to listen to me now. I'm sorry, it's my session. Okay. So
I'm closing it. Okay.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Toastmaster Darshan. So when I was talking about Toastmaster of the Day, the session was absolutely beautiful, and he just chose a topic for the app for the meeting, definitely app for us. And there are a few recommendations for you, Toastmaster of the Day. The Toastmaster of the Day is not supposed to reveal the name of the speakers. It's a privilege of the evaluators, because you have to tell them the target speaker, and the Toastmaster of the evaluators have to say, my speaker is this particular name. And as well as once you are introducing them, then with the topic, Toastmaster Mohit, the topic, and Toastmaster of the Toastmaster Mohit, like that. That's one thing for you. And let's come to the table topics. The Nightingale of the Day made the table topic session beautiful. I know you're a good singer, and so you chose a topic it's a privilege for me to attend your table topic sessions again. And your topics were absolutely beautiful. Let's start with the table topics. The first speaker, Ritvik, you were on that flow. You finished your you finished your speech, and then you started with your table topics saying, stop existing and start living. And the way you started with your taxing and your this thing, but the way you ended up when you're at a bar and you're posting a thing, you are trying to say your word, your suggestion, your submission, your conclusion was absolutely brilliant. So please don't stop existing. Stop existing and start living, because we always, try to believe on our gadgets, but we forget about the people who are sitting in front of us. So please don't do that. Thank you. That was a great take. And next is the Toastmaster Anchal. Small things make perfection, but perfection isn't small. A great take on the topic. Definitely, you asked the question on the very first moment, but I could say you could have waited for a couple of seconds for them to whether to answer or not, but at least you're keeping them on suspense. And then you definitely had a perfect way to say, we are addressing either it is perfection, whether this one is perfection. But I could see you repeated the word perfect or perfection 8 times in your speech, that 1.5 to 2 minutes. You can replace with some of the words, but it was a fabulous message you were trying to give. And Toastmaster Samir, thunder only happens when it is raining. Absolutely true, Toastmaster Samir, but please do not repeat the title. Though when you are repeating the title, it gives you time to accumulate the thoughts, but at least it's really taking out your valuable time. But you really tried absolutely well, and whatever you said within that 1 minute and 6 seconds, you said what you want to say. The message was very clear. And Toastmaster Pragati, there is still time to change the road you are on. Though you asked for the topic again, but you were on the road and you were changing your role. That's what age is, just the number. Definitely it goes for me also, because at the age of 56, I'm trying to be in the Toastmasters. And for me, about a year back, I was definitely just talking a lot to my daughters, who is again a Toastmaster. I mean, my daughters are in the Toastmaster field for the past 6 years. So I've been telling them, Toastmaster, why you're taking so much of time for this, that, and all. But after a year, they are asking me for time. I said, no, I don't have any time. Sorry, I'm busy on my weekends and all with Toastmaster. So, which made me to realize age is just a number, and you were just on the thing, and which hit me because I'm directly experienced in that. So I could relate to it very well. The passion is the one which is very important. And that's what the message you gave, which I'm taking away with me again. And the fifth speaker, Toastmaster Satyadev, everything is funny as long as it happens to somebody else. It's a very painful thing, and you explained it with the experience very well. And definitely the way you were saying, we could see the emotions, we could feel you were just putting your heart out. Excellent take. And distinguished Toastmaster Deepak Manan, I have nothing to say, but it's an excellent way of giving the message. We have to balance our things out. Great take. And all the speakers, the table topic speakers, absolutely great and had a fantastic table topic thing. Toastmaster Anisha, special kudos to you for getting those topics from the songs. And Stairway to Heaven is, of course, one of my favorite songs. It's a play. And now comes to my speech evaluators, as I already said, and as well as the speakers. One thing for the Toastmaster Ritvik, I wanted to tell you something. I've made a note of it. I'm so sorry, somewhere. Yes, the timer. When you were talking about the red zone, green zone, instead of that, you can say about a minimum, mean, and maximum. So that's a thing which you can explain to them. That will be great. And the Toastmaster of the day, I've covered him. The auxiliary role players, in case if you can just show your screen, you share your screen with whatever the timings they've taken, will be better. And as well as the language and the language checker, the language evaluator, and as well as the R counter, if you can show your screen. I know that you don't want to show the report cards, but it's a part of the family. We are a part of the family, and nobody would definitely laugh about others' weaknesses, because that is what we are here to improve ourselves, definitely. So it's a great meeting, and it's, of course, my pleasure to be a general evaluator over here. And I love the way my tag teams and the evaluators played their role. So as my table topic master. And one more recommendation for Toastmaster of the day. When you're introducing the table topic master would be giving the timings and the rules and all. So that's her session and it's her right. Okay, thank you. And over to you, Toastmaster of the day, for the final conclusion. Overall, I enjoyed the session. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Madam General Evaluator, for conducting the session so beautifully. So many takeaways for us and for me as well. So I request Techmaster, please launch the poll for auxiliary role players.
We have done the polls for auxiliary role players.
Okay,
The
so sorry.
role players are remaining.
Okay, role players are remain. It will be done by the presiding officer.
Yeah.
So one last submission from my side, because out of all the roles, there is one role called TMOD. The script is there. What TMOD should cover is also mentioned there. What I have covered, General Evaluator has communicated. But in my view, just one more point. Usually what TMOD does is present his own agenda, what he has prepared, rather what she has prepared. Rather, he should act as facilitator of the meeting and try to use the time or cut the time accordingly as per the agenda, meeting agenda, not own agenda. So that's all from my side. With this, thank you all, and I hand over stage back to our presiding officer, Toastmaster Simran Dua.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, and all the Toastmasters present here. Wow, what a wonderful meeting this was. I really enjoyed it. So without further ado, let's vote for the best role player. The polls are on the screen. Come on. Only one person is left. Okay, now I'm ending the poll. All right. So now, without further ado, let me announce the results for today's meeting. So the best speaker, any guesses who was the best speaker in today's meeting? Anyone?
Toastmaster Mohit.
Mohit? Yeah, it is Mohit.
Yes, it is Toastmaster Mohit for the best speaker. All right. Next up, we have the best evaluator for the day. I don't think we need much guesses. Okay, it is
Deepak Menon, sir.
Yeah, Toastmaster Deepak Menon, sir. Congratulations, sir. All right. Next we have is the best table topic speaker. Who was the best table topic speaker for the day?
Toastmaster Deepak Menon, sir.
It should be tied
Toastmaster
between.
Deepak, sir. Is it best table topic speaker? So next up we have the best auxiliary role player. Who was the best auxiliary role player?
Accountant?
Toastmaster
Yeah,
Shanti.
accountant of the day.
Accountant.
So the grand prize of the day, best role player. Who was the
Table
best role
topic, the Nightingale, table topics master. Toastmaster
Toastmaster
Anisha.
Lakshmi.
Toastmaster Anisha.
It was Toastmaster Anisha, the table topic master. Okay, so thank you so much for joining today. Before you leave, I would like all of you to just switch on your cameras and let's pose for a group picture. Everyone, please switch on your cameras. Can we have a V? Okay, we are done. Thank you so much for joining today. The next meeting of Tuesday is cancelled and we would have it the next Tuesday after that. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye,
Thank you.
everybody.
Bye.
Deepak sir.
Thank you so much. Bye-bye.
Yeah, thanks, Deepak sir.
Yeah, Satdeep.
Deepak sir, it's an honor to share the stage with you and listen to you after such a long time. Just 3 points from my side, sir, in this. Firstly, sir, in Kolkata, in all the clubs, we have this practice of what G. Lakshmi said. The Toastmaster of the day hands it over to the general evaluator, who introduces his or her team. That is, nowadays we call it the tag team. Sir, when we started Toastmaster, that is when I started Toastmaster in 2007, sir, we never used the word tag. It's only recently we could get to know this word tag. So the second suggestion is, sir, when the timer is showing the screen as we do it in all contests, sir, in 5 minutes when the green card is shown, the card remains there till the 6th minute, right, sir? And then 6 to 7, the yellow remains, and 7 after, the red remains till and until the speaker stops or leaves the podium, correct? So probably this can also be done in share screen format also, sir. That will be a picture in picture because the card will be shown. And sir, the last thing is when the card is being shown, sir, if we avoid showing the timing in the card, probably that would be better. Because, sir, that gives a clear indication to the speaker as to how much time is left, and the speaker can modify his or her speech accordingly.